It's time for Tubi Tuesday. Hello, and welcome to Tubi Tuesday, where we are looking at Street Fighter from 1994, starring Jean-Claude Van Damme, Raul Julia, Miguel A. Nunez Jr., Angel Benarski, Ming-Na Wen, Kylie Minogue, bunch of other people. And I know people make fun of this movie, but I love this movie, man. I gotta get this on physical media, DVD or Blu-ray. I gotta get it. This movie is fantastic. All right, has nothing to do with the video game, not really. And they threw so many characters into this film. It is just, yeah. So the story plot, as it would have be, is that there's this tyrant named M. Bison, and he is, in a tactical warfare, so to speak. He has basically a warlord, and he's played by Raul Julia in ends up being Raul Julia's last role ever. He was very sick during the making of this film. He did this role as a favor to his kids who were Street Fighter fans, so he did this role for them. And he is fantastic. It's one of the best things in this film next to Van Damme, I think. I know a lot of people are down on Jean-Claude Van Damme. Oh, you can't understand what he's saying. All he does is pose and fight and stuff. And don't get me wrong, he was coked up as hell during this film, and he was one of the most hard to work with people on this film at the time. Steven D'Souza, the director, he went on record and saying that Van Damme was very hard to work with. Very difficult to work with, I should say. There are so many characters thrown in for this. You have Guile Bison, Cammy, Chun-Li, E. Honda, Balrog, DJ, Ken, Ryu, Sagat, Vega, who only wears his mask for like 5 minutes, Dalsum, Blanca, so many shoved in here. But I think even with all the shoved characters of Mortal Kombat Annihilation and in this movie, I think this one did it well. Each of his characters had better scenes than just Mortal Kombat Annihilation killing off extra characters because there was too many. They actually found stuff for the characters to do here. I've never been a big fan of, like, Ken and Ryu get arrested at the beginning of this because they're underground fighting at Sagat's club, and they get arrested. And then they end up working for Guile in this thing where he's, supposedly killed, but it was a setup so that they can get a tracking beacon into Bison's headquarters, right? You also got Chun-Li, who's with Balrog and E. Honda, and she's trying to get revenge because of something that happened to her village when she was a little girl. There are so many good lines in this film, such as when Chun-Li confronts Bison, and Bison says he doesn't remember doing that. He says, for you, it was the day you met and Bison. It was, something you'll never forget. For me, it was Tuesday. That is so cold. So cold. Other things you can quote in this is when the truck of explosives is going to head towards the camp, the bad guys' camp, and it's going to explode, and they're watching it on a little screen, and then they're also looking out there, and you have Zangief, which is one of the characters I forgot to mention. He goes, quick, change the channel, because they're looking at the TV. And then you have Colonel Guile's speech when he's getting ready, prepared to launch the attack on Bison, and the government dudes show up and say, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to pay the ransom, which is like, was it $50 billion? What's going to stop him from asking or was it $20 billion, whatever, $50 billion, 100,000 billion dollars, or whatever. So he goes out, he delivers this speech like, well, we can go home, he keeps saying during this. Well, I'm not going to go home. I'm going to march up, to go up there, I'm going to kick that son of a bitch Bison's ass so hard, the next one of me Bison will feel it. Now, who wants to go home? Who wants to come with me? And everybody goes, yeah. And I know there's some flack because, Jean-Claude Van Damme is Belgian or French, whatever. And he's got the American flag because that's what Bison has. He doesn't wear green, he wears blue, and he has the same blue camo from Surf Ninjas. Can't get past that. There is another quote. There's a line that caught me. A line that from 1994 in a PG-13 film, but based off of a kids game, a fighting game for kids. And that's when Balrog and E Honda are in prison, and E Honda gets whipped by Zangief or just another guard, I think. No one special, just some guard. And he's like, how can you take that? He goes, brother, I learned how to separate my mind and my body. And so he's like, so he realizes, Balrog realizes that they pull hard enough, they can break chains. But Balrog says, give me a hand. And E Honda says, we've only been imprisoned a few hours. Ask me again in a month. Yeah, that kind of joke. But no, they just pull the chains and break it off. They get out. Chun-Li wears red instead of blue, which, kind of works because Guile and his team wear blue. So they actually had them wearing green camo like you're supposed to in the army. Then I think it would work better, but I don't know. There's other weird costume change too, like T-Hawk. Doesn't look like T-Hawk until the very end when they break into Bison's place, and then he looks like T-Hawk. Same thing with Dhalsim. He looks like this old scientist guy, and then when Guile goes to get Charlie, which is his friend, Carlos Blanca, they show that he's Blanca now with the hair. He's not even that muscly. They could have got a bigger muscle guy to do it, or at least have one actor play Charlie and another actor play the big, like they did with the Incredible Hulk. It doesn't work. And he's not even in the movie that long. He doesn't do anything. And then Dhalsim looks like he does. And I guess you could take it that when he had the stuff spilled on him, he got electrocuted, that changed him. But that's never explained. We get the fight between Guile and Bison. It's a good fight. But there's too many repetitive shots of Van Damme doing the back kick. We get it. You know how to do the moves. There are several moves that aren't called out. You see the Shuriken from Ken. Ryu does the kick, the tornado kick or the hurricane kick. And the Hadouken, but he doesn't call it out. And all you get is like a white flash. He's like, ha! And white flash. And he's like, come on, Hadouken! Just say it, man. They get changed. Like, they're wearing, like, suits or whatever earlier, and then they finally get changed into their suits, and it's like, they're the training gis for Bison's men. Wouldn't they all be wearing red, though? All the regular suits are red. Why would they be orange and white? It just doesn't make any sense. You sometimes want to try to make them look like they're supposed to, and sometimes you don't. Like Guile wearing blue, for instance, instead of green like he should be. Cammy is supposed to be American, like Guile, but she's British, and if she's trying to do an American accent, I don't think Kylie Minogue can do that. And I did find that a lot of Chun-Li's delivery, specifically when she's doing the news broadcast, very, what's the word? Like, the James Bond from Majesties. She's very wooden. That's what it is. Very wooden. But when she's being regular Chun-Li, she's fine. But she's supposed to be a journalist unless it's just a cover, but we never find out that's just a cover. So I don't know. This movie is fun. It's stupid. It's stupid fun. I get a good time out of it every time I watch it. Man. There's a lot more gunfighting in this than street fighting. I've heard people say that it could almost be a good G.I. Joe movie if they took out the Street Fighter stuff, which is true. There's a lot of gunfighting in this, not a lot of street fighting. It's kind of weird. Much like Mortal Kombat, there's not really that much of a callback to the, like, each of the, like, the Street Fighter game just has you going to different countries and fighting out people there, which you couldn't do that for a movie, I don't think, but you could do a tournament where each person's from a different country. E Honda's from Japan, Guile's from America, that sort of thing. But this isn't that bad. Like I said, I think it's probably Raul Julia's best performance he's given. Now, I haven't watched the Adam Family movies in a while, but we'll get to those eventually. In October. For sure. But this was a fun experience to watch. I'll definitely give it 8 out of 10. I don't think it's half as bad as anyone keeps saying that it is, to be honest. But, yeah, it was a fun watch. So what are your thoughts on Street Fighter? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.